The Mike Hosking Breakfast, 6 to 9 weekdays on Newstalk ZB.
G'day there, our old friend Adrian Orr has decided Trump will be slightly inflationary and that peak free trade is over. And on both counts, I think he's probably right. But he's not always right. He wasn't right this week, was he, on the jobs when he thought they would be 5% by way of unemployment. And I don't think he's right when he talked in his fiscal risk report this week that more jobs will lead to more mortgage defaults on housing. See, if we've learned one thing out of this whole mad COVID experiment, it's that New Zealanders and our relationship with housing is something quite out of the box. It's obsessive. If we don't believe it's a right to own a house, it's certainly on the to-do list, and we work awfully hard to make it happen, and having made it happen, we ain't letting go easily, which is why the mortgage cliff never happened. Of course, all the doom and misery around the houses that would be foreclosed on never came to pass. So a few more job losses isn't going to add to the calamity that never happened in the first place. Interesting question to ask is whether Adrian's conservatism has and indeed continues to hold us back. He's got a just-in-case feel about him, don't you think? The amount that banks have to keep aside for things that so far haven't happened, for example. The jobs that might be lost that, in fact, weren't lost. The money all the banks needed for free during COVID so they could spray it about the place to protect a lot of stuff that, as it turned out, didn't really need protecting. This is not to say things haven't been and aren't bad. They are. I mean, Adrian's made a god-awful mess of it all, as bad as anywhere and worse than most. But this week, I think we saw a little bit of hope. The jobless rate, yes, still on the rise, but if the forecasts were wrong now, my bet is those who think it will go to 6%, they'll be wrong next year. The mood has or is changing. People don't want to be more down than they need to be, and the tide, my gut tells me, is turning. Even Adrian saw better times ahead for farming in his report this week. I see it for farming and indeed for most of the rest of us.
Mike Hosking Breakfast, 6 to 9 weekdays on Newstalk ZB.